So I've captured a lot of SLC badges, but I haven't done a whole lot of looting SLC, so I decided to see how much money can you make from looting in Northwind. And here we see there's an SLC private here. He's the only guy online. He doesn't seem mildly bothered that there's a native walking around the base until the native starts shooting him with flaming arrows, at which point he runs into the safe zone. So we move back. He pushes up again. This time he's got his friend, because it's SLC, so the second anyone sends off an alarm signal, there's going to be like 28 million of them. So we just move back here, and we wait for him to approach. Then we realize we have a melee opportunity. He tries to push, we scare him off. At this point, I'm expecting that like some guy is going around. I try to shoot, but my lag makes it take forever, so we don't end up getting a shot. And this guy goes behind the rock, and then another guy shows up. I'm still lagging a lot, and he has a cape, which means he probably actually plays Northwind. So here we move back, but out of render distance we get shot, so we just sit behind the wall, and then we wait. Upon clearing the other side, we don't find anybody. Then we find this guy with an SLC flag who's like AFK, presumably. I'm not sure. I think he later called this guy. Here's what we got. But then this guy shows up. So presumably he's got some sort of person he called. Now we have a pistol as well, which that's going to help us with our quick drops, except because there's no primary still. We still use bow because native be like. Then this guy shows up. I missed my first shot, or I missed the first shot, I think, but I hit the other guy instead. So we got that. And I didn't explain that fight very well at all. Anyways, we got a dragoon sword, a lockpick, and then like the standard other stuff like sabers and stuff that we can't really sell as a native, but we can give it away to other natives for free. So now we give away a bunch of the guns, and we also take some guns as our weapons. We're going to try the native with gun strategy. The reason everybody hates this is because the natives just have truly awful accuracy with guns. That's why they use bows, because they have better accuracy and stamina. But here we get the stamina bonus, plus we also get to be able to do quick drops. The downside is that you can really only do quick drops. You can't aim well with guns, which it doesn't really make sense to me why all like the super pro hardcore YouTubers or whatever that play Northwind use the colonists to shoot, because they can have extra stamina as a native and still have the same items, so it doesn't really make sense to me. But anyways, yeah, we collect some things here. We also get some gun oil, which is natives just live off of that stuff. We spend hours just drinking gun oil. That's the only consumable natives care about. It's the only thing that can fix like our 8 million broken Holstein pistols we have sitting in our storage account. And then this guy shows up. It's the same guy from earlier, but he's encumbered and he's trying to get to his smithing table. I'm kind of curious why there's no SLC members here. Yeah, then we take out this guy, and he's got nothing. There was supposed to be text on that black screen, but I messed it up. Then we finally just take the chest, because, you know, we're trying to get SLC on the server. Then we finally go and collect our one padlock that we left in the area, and here's our grand haul. There's absolutely nothing there. I don't expect what he was trying to smith with, other than just smithing with hopes and dreams. But now he's here again. He tries to shoot, he misses. We shoot, we miss. We shoot again, we also miss still. And now we go and hide behind here while we reload, because welcome to gun PvP. And this guy tries to push up, though. I don't think he quite understands that we can just kind of sit around here and wait for him to charge us, because he either needs to call in SLC backup, which that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We bait him out a little bit with a shot, but the tent blocks it. So we go here, we shoot him once, we miss, and we reload again. He's still not really going to push until he tries to push around here, at which point we just use the tents to our advantage. Then we go here, but I forgot to jump in the middle of the attack, so I didn't actually hit him. Then we shoot him, and we do a little bit of damage, but colonists are only really useful if they have both guns loaded, or they're in melee combat, so he just runs back behind that house there, so we wait out here again. He tries to flank long. This time we don't have enough ammo for both of our guns, we'll make sure to loot a bunch of ammo. At this point I thought he disconnected for a second, and I verify that he's there, and then I run back, and now we wait for him to charge us again, except I'm start lagging again, which whenever someone starts lagging, my strategy is just to run around and hopefully not get hit. He jumps around again. I don't know what he's doing here. We wait a second, then he finally charges us with melee, which we charge him with melee, but then I don't know what happened there. I don't, and then we try here, we miss the hit, and then he starts moving towards the safe zone, but we have a loaded pistol, so, you know, it doesn't work out great for him. We then collect his guns. Also, we hopped servers because I got tired of beating up the same guy because he wouldn't call any friends. So now we're on the next server, and we see a noticeably more advanced person who was sitting here, and now he comes back up and he sees that we're now sitting here. So he's gonna try to attack us. As you can see, he's probably lagging a lot, that's my assumption. We hit him once, and then we hit him again. We're also lagging a lot. I think the server might just be lagging a lot. And then we loot him, and here we get an epic Holstein pistol, as well as more gun oil to live off of, because natives, they don't drink water, they solely drink gun oil. As you can tell, that's why we have like 20 million Holsteins. Also, we had to drop a bunch of stuff, like black pelts and padlocks for sentimental value, that we don't need anymore. We also dropped a Dragoon Sword and a Charleston Musket to this guy, so that he can have them. And then we go back on to attacking this guy. He randomly waves at us. I don't know why he does this. It's a native shooting at you. What are you think the native's like a friendly native? Which I mean those do exist, but we finally open it up and he has some food, so we loot him, and then we bandaged him up and he just died again. I don't understand. I think it's the fire arrow was still doing damage after he was revived. I can't take the arrow out, so we just gotta heal him. It's interesting. We heal him again. This time the arrow finally goes out and he's no longer dead. So yeah, and then I think he called the SLC out or something, or maybe had like previous SLC ties, because we can spot an SLC reaction force coming in. So we immediately hide behind here and we start crawling our way slowly while the SLC pass by clueless, and we run through here, and then we head to the fort, but we see those guys there. I'm actually on the hunt for cypress wood, which I spent 3 hours searching and then found out that it was like 2 feet from the whole SLC fight to begin with. We also found this guy that went away from here on our way towards it. It might be a native or it might be an SLC, I don't know. And then we finally find out that these trees right here are cypress trees. Now, if you know anything about cypress, you know that cypress wood is gray, not red. I was not looking for a red tree, but apparently these are cypress trees. So we chop it down. Look at this orange wood. How does this orange wood turn into this color? Like, the inside of the wood, outside the bark, is even orangier than that. I don't understand. And now we move up here. I immediately thought this guy was raiding the SLC until I saw his SLC tag, at which point I attacked him. He hit us with his mace once, and then we hit him again. And yeah, that was an SLC guy that showed up. Then we healed this guy, who I think he's a French guy. Anyways, we start bandaging. This guy shows up. I thought he was friendly for a second, until I realized he was gonna shoot me, and I didn't stop bandaging. I just kind of stood there, and then I realized I was still low health, so we got killed. But now we're here bear hunting, because I actually need bear tooth, even though I decided not to use it on a new weapon that I'm making, because my old weapon kind of doesn't really blend in with anything great. So we start shooting this bear with fire arrows. The bear starts chasing us. We hit some headshots because, you know, bear have just massive heads. Then he gets stuck on here. I thought he was going to climb it up until eventually he does, at which point we get the final kill with our Borden axe. It's probably the last time we're going to use it in combat. Yeah, factually, that's a correct statement. Then we start skinning it. It slowly slides there and teleports back. Teleportation in Northwind Part 2. Then we just gave our boarding axe or our war axe to this random native because we got a new one. But for this end card, I'm just going to talk about why is it named Border Child. Well, it's a reference to coding, as in it's the second weapon in the boarding axe legacy. I mainly use the war axe because I like the boarding axe as a colonist. But now that we have the this new axe here, we don't need this one, so we just gave it to some random dude.